my current view out across the Mesa to the mountains behind Tahoe's. Every day the sky is definitely different. But we have a 360-degree view out here, and this is the backyard view and my view for the next 2 weeks here at our Workaway or work exchange that I'm doing. We're staying with a young couple that has a little boy that has moved out here 4 years ago and has been working on fulfilling their dreams of the off-grid lifestyle and alternative building methods for their homestead. So I'm going to take you through what they have here. So for the last 4 years, Jake and Kinsey have lived out here on the Mesa and have been carving out a homestead out of nothing. They managed to build this house, their first house, called an earth barn, and it has a kitchen inside with propane cooking area. They have fridge and freezer, all run by their solar. At about 7,500 feet, the sun is very intense and heats up the inside of their house through the windows along the front. They have an outside kitchen area, and as you can see, there's raised beds and earth bermed all around the sides and the back of the house. I'm going to be working on planting these beds along the side and the front and adding soil amendments. On this end of the house, the right end, is a greenhouse, and it's all watered by their gray water. They also, of course, collect all their water, and the outhouse is their main facility, has beautiful views of the Tahoe's mountains. They have all the solar they need with the sun out here, and as you can see from the back side, their house is tucked in. They have a shop that's also powered with its own separate solar so we can run tools, and I'm parked there on the side with my 360-degree views. So some of the things I'm going to be working on is completing the raised beds, adding amendments, and planting them and seeding them, moving construction materials around, and finally I'm going to learn how to do an aquaponics system. So first I'm going to collect some rocks and continue this bed along the front of the house and bring up the level with some more dirt. We just kind of go out to the field here and sagebrush and find some rocks and bring them back. Lots and lots of stacked rocks here. Alright, so I've brought in some more rocks to continue this bed along the front of the house, and I've added all kinds of soil to bring up the level, a bunch of good amendments, and it's getting towards the end of the day, about ready to call it quits. Take a walk to the outhouse, and this is my path to get to the outhouse. And I'll continue working on projects tomorrow. What you see out there? Nibbles sees something out there. We got the morning sun coming in, warming us up. We had a low of 41 outside last night. I can see a hint of snow up on the top of the mountains out there. But the sun quickly warms things up. We'll get back up to the low 80s today. So for the last couple days, I've continued to work on the raised beds here, bringing in more rocks and dirt, mending the soil, seeding it, planting it. We use some grates here to try to keep the mice out until stuff gets going. Seems like pretty much every afternoon it gets really breezy here and we take a break. My commitment is only about 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, and this afternoon I'm pretty sure we're going to have some rain. A lot of times out here on the Mesa, the storms miss us. They go to one side or the other, go right up the Rio Grande, or you can see rain clouds out there. So it's pretty rare to see rain. They're actually really dry. You could use anything. It's so close. All right, we're starting to see a few raindrops. It is so windy out here. We could barely even get back in the van. I think we're gonna get some rain. Oh, we're actually getting some rain. All right, it is the next morning after we had that great rain yesterday. The smell of the sagebrush out here is so fresh and so green. It's indescribable, the smell out here after a rain. The sun is almost up, so we're going to go outside and walk around here, and I'm going to show you what else we've been working on this past week. And we have been working on our aquaponics system here. The first thing that I needed to learn was the art of pounding tires. There is about 300 pounds of dirt in each one of these tires. They consist of our table legs, and we got the dirt from over here where they're going to build their future house, so we were kind of pre-excavating. And then the bows on the top are left over from their greenhouse build, and now we're going to be washing and scrubbing all of their totes that they have and filling them with gravel. So today is kind of an off day, so we're going to kind of relax, do some video editing, and just hang out today. I'll make a little bit of food. Got some red peppers and poblano peppers, onions, zucchini, and ground beef to make a little nachos. So we decided to go for a little after dinner stroll, and we came across something. This is the first time I've ever seen a tarantula. It's pretty cool. Almost stepped on it though, it's going across the path. So I thought you guys would like to see their greenhouse. It is still a work in progress, and it is quite an undertaking. It's quite a large greenhouse, and everything on it is recycled. They used all these rocks from around the property and mortared them in there. There is tires bermed along the backside also, and earth is pushed up so it is kind of hidden behind this hill. They had to have it excavated because it is sunk down into the ground. It's really large inside, and you can see how much excavating needed to be done and the amount of rocks that are down here. Here I'm down inside of their greenhouse. You can see how far down they've dug these rocks and some of these huge boulders. Look at the size of this, and they have all their walls, and then this is like ground level. So this is quite a project. It's going to grow a huge amount of food. They're going to have aquaponics in here. All their water tanks, they have 2 of those. All going to be run on solar and protect most of the plants from the really harsh environment outside. So they did buy a truckload of water to get these tanks filled. It's quite a bit of water. It would take a long time to get them filled this time of year, and it's going to help us get our other aquaponics system up and going also. They're going to purchase some large liners to line the bottom and make it into pools and plant shelves and plant boxes, and then use this water to fill it. As you can see, there's like mortar over the whole backside, a thick mesh, wire mesh to hold it up there in between these bows and purlins. And of course, you have to have a huge stash of bottles and cans for doing a recycling project like this. As you can see, these have been cut in half and taped together so light shines all the way through. One of the reasons this method became so popular is it used up a large amount of garbage that wouldn't decompose in a landfill. It makes beautiful colored walls and colorful light coming through, and it's a cheap building material because most of it is free except for your mortar. They also used aluminum cans in here, which for the most part are probably free also. The bows were recycled from another greenhouse operation in another state that they brought here. Tires were free, and rocks, well, rocks are always free. You just have to move them, and they're heavy. At about 7,500 feet in elevation, they have 300 plus days of sunny days, so this greenhouse is really their only saving grace, their only way that they can grow vegetables out here, because you can see it's extremely windy all the time and very dry. Alright, so it's the afternoon, and we're going to go hang out in the van for the rest of the evening, as it's the warmest day we've experienced yet at 83 degrees. Just to give you a little idea, it's 83 degrees outside. But crystal clear, full sun. So in here we have the silver reflectix up on the windshield, and we're using curtains. Right now the sun's not coming in, so we do have both of our windows open, a fan going, our vent fan, and we're staying about 86 degrees. So 3-4 degrees warmer than what it's outside. That's not really that bad, especially with all of us in here. And it is very warm out. And very sunny. No clouds. It's a breezy afternoon again. There's our good kitty. He came out. Yeah, what a good kitty. At nighttime, it's been getting like maybe 45, 48 for low, and we've been running with no heat about 3 or 4 degrees warmer in here than it is outside without any heat. And that doesn't happen until the very early hours of the morning. So, you know, that's not something we have to deal with all night, getting that cold. But as long as we close up the van, and we do have insulated black curtains that we can put over our bigger windows if we want to. But really that's not that bad with no heat. And like I said, it only happens at like 5-6 a.m. and I could run a little heat at that time and take the chill off, and then I take the this Reflectix thing down and let the sun, the AM sun, come in here and warm it up. You are such a good eater. Are you ready to go outside and do some work with me? So we have seeded and mulched and put a fence around all of these beds along the front of the house, mainly to keep little Wiley out of the garden. I've been doing their daily watering to help the seeds get up and going. You can see our super tall fence here. Hopefully it'll keep him out. He was getting in there and digging, helping, you know, extra help. So I'm going to show you what we've been working on for the last week, and that is the Aquaponics system here. We are all done. It is ready to be turned on. We finished washing all of the totes. They're all cut in half and plumbed together. There's one tray here at the end that's shorter. We have half of them filled with gravel and the other half is filled with the clay pellets. They're plumbed in here, and the water source is the stock tank that we have in the ground. We have it covered up with a tarp to keep Wiley out of it, and a fence around it also for him. But we washed thousands of pounds, it seems like, of these pellets. We had to wash them to get them all clean before we put them in the system. And like I said, the bottom half is gravel, and it looks really nice. And like I told you, we did the tires for the table and the bows for the tabletop. We added shade over the top to help shield it from the intense sun out here. And all they have to do now is add plants and fish. So this afternoon it looks like there's rain down in Tahoe's. You can see the bottom of the rainbow, both ends of it. Of course, it is still the dry season up here. I think their monsoon season is July through September, but Tahoe's is definitely getting some rain right now. The Rio Grande Valley seems to get a lot more rain than up here, and it is going right by us again today. So we're just about all done with our Workaway here, and it was a very interesting experience. Learned a lot about living out here on the Mesa, and it was a good way to supplement your travels, you know, be able to hook up to somebody else's electric or solar, use their water, kitchen, and you're safe and you don't need to worry about moving all the time. You set your time and so forth with your host, and I used a couple different websites. There's WWOOFers, Worldwide Organization of Organic Farms, or Workaway, and I was able to share my skills with them and help them out, and I gained some new skills also. I learned how to do a aquaponics system, which I've never done before, so that was a lot of fun. And during our off time, we got to explore the area and do some other things, made some new friends, eat some organic food, and it was a good time. Definitely would do it again and highly recommended. Another cool place. Alright, it's time for us to head down the road and say goodbye to our host family. It was quite an experience out here, and we learned a lot about living out here, and look forward to our next adventure. And as always, thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already.